There are more ways to heat your greenhouse or tunnel than this, but this is just 4 ways that I've done. Hey plant friends, so we're going to work up from the least expensive up to the most expensive ways to heat your tunnel. There'll be different use cases for everyone, so let's get into it. Okay, so by far the most common and most cost-effective way to heat your tunnel is using horticultural bubble wrap. These come in 50 centimeters, 75 centimeters, which is this one, and 1 meter lengths, so that's this way. Then they obviously come in the meterage. This is 30 meters long. A question that I've heard before is, can you use normal bubble wrap, not necessarily horticultural bubble wrap? The simple answer is yes. However, a couple of caveats. This stuff is UV protected, so it won't yellow as quickly. This only cost me £15 each. I got 2 rolls. 2 rolls is enough to do this 6 meter long by 2 meter wide tunnel. Just make sure that you calculate in the height as well. So whenever you're putting that, really simple. I just use AI to calculate the tunnel and how much I need. Bubble wrap should be used in conjunction with every other heating method we're going to use today. The reason is bubble wrap traps heat. All the other heat created by your heaters will also get trapped by this wrap. So, going to do a time lapse of this getting put up. Okay, so that is the polytunnel completely bubble wrapped, except for the doors. I'll do those later. I have a little bit of bubble wrap left, but I want to get on with getting this, the rest of the heating system put in. This should give me 2 to 3 degrees extra, but really importantly, that should be more than enough, more than sufficient to keep the frost off all of my plants. Right now it is 12 degrees outside. We are sitting at 14.9, so that's about 3 degrees. The next way you can heat your tunnel or greenhouse is using a paraffin heater, sometimes called kerosene. Now these are what I used last year and they are absolutely brilliant. 2 of these kept this tunnel, which is 6 meters long, 2 meters wide, at about 5 degrees from freezing. So if it was freezing, it would stay around 5. If it was 4, 5, it would be about 5 degrees over that, sometimes 4, but it was incredibly useful. I have a video on full instructions on how to work these. They're pretty simple. You fill up here this tank with paraffin, and you then light these wicks. And let me see, going the wrong way. So just like that. And this is a dual wick. You can get single or dual. This is a dual one. Completely useful. A couple of downsides is that they do stink a little. Okay, so coming into your greenhouse in the morning, and it does smell. So you need ventilation. Another thing with that is that it can cause quite a lot of moisture in your greenhouse or tunnel, and the reason for that is it's just not powerful enough to blast that condensation away, but totally useful. Will keep the chill off your plants. If you're looking for something with no electric whatsoever, then this is a really, really good option for you. Now there are a couple of similar options. I have seen people use a ceramic, like a ceramic bowl filled with sand and a flame which heats up the sand. I haven't done that. Seems around the same kind of idea as this. I was perfectly happy using this, and it has served me well for 2 years running. Completely frost free. The houseplants, it didn't really work too well with the houseplants out here in winter, which is why I have now upgraded, and that is what I'm going to show you next, what I've upgraded to. So tubular heaters. These are slim metal heaters, and they are designed to they run on electric. They're designed to not make it tropical in here, but distribute a nice even heat. They are the most cost-effective heater you can get for using electric. If you compare it to a fan heater, one of those ones that blows constant air around the place, then what you'll find is that they are like 1.5, 2 kilowatts. This is only 240 watts. So I've got two of these running. That's going to be 480, 500 watts. Not much in comparison at all. I have already got one of these installed, and I'm going to install one of these with you tonight. We are down at the other end of the tunnel. This is where I'm going to put this tubular heater, just right in underneath here. One thing, I'm going to have to move these out of the way. It does need a little bit of space. I also want to make sure that it doesn't touch any of these leaves. I usually keep cuttings down here. You can see I've got quite a lot of buddleia cuttings. That's good because those cuttings will still get a little bit of heat, but as the heat rises, everything else above it will get the majority of the heat, and eventually with both of these heaters, they will heat up the whole tunnel. Okay, welcome to the world's worst YouTube written table ever. I have no idea how people actually manage to get the camera above the head and the lighting right. I will dial that in for next time. But work with me here because this is a rundown of what it will actually cost you to heat your tunnel with one of these options. We're going to run it at 30 pence per kilowatt hour, and we're going to assume that you can get 1 litre of kerosene for about £1. I know you can get it cheaper than that, but we're just going to assume that. Okay, so you have per hour on there, and we're going to look at power drawn. So 240 watts is 0.24 kilowatts, so almost a quarter of a kilowatt. And to run that per hour is going to be about 7 pence. I have thermostats on both of these tubular heaters, so I'm only running for 8 hours a day. That works out at 58 pence per day. Times that per week, and you're getting to £4 and 6p. So not very much to run one of these heaters at all. Per month, we're getting into £17.40. But remember, I've got two of these heaters. That's going to cost just shy of £35 per month, which in my book is a really good amount to keep your tunnel heated the entire way through winter. So if you don't have the availability of electric in your tunnel, quarter of a litre, and at £1, that's going to work out at 25 pence per hour. Still reasonable, especially if you can't get electric into your tunnel or greenhouse. Per day, if you have it on for 8 hours, that's going to cost you about £2. Per week, you're getting into about £14, so you're already touching what the tubular heaters can do in a month. Per month, that's going to cost you £60. I ran two of them last year. It didn't quite cost me £100. It was more like £80 per month, somewhere in that region. So I didn't have it on full blast. I was okay with that. Now we're getting into a much more powerful heater, 2 kilowatts. Obviously that draws 2 kilowatts of power per hour, which roughly costs 60 pence. If you have that on for 8 hours a day, it's going to cost you £4 and 80 pence, which works out at about £33 60 pence per week. And then per month, £144 added on to your electric bill. Ultimately, you've got to weigh up what you want to spend on heating your tunnel during winter, how much use you're going to get out of it. You just got to pick which one works for you. I've tried to make this video relevant for people who have access to electric in their greenhouse or tunnel and people who don't have access. If you're just looking to keep frost off your plants, go for bubble wrap. It's very effective. It worked very well for me last year. If you have more tender plants, you can add in a paraffin heater, and if you've access to the electric, you can go for the tubular heaters as the cost-effective option. I did use the 2 kilowatt heaters last year, and I did not find it was cost effective for me at all, and I even found that it dried out some plants as well, just with the constant hot air moving in such a small confined space. I hope you've got value from this video. I really hope it extends your planting season this year, and if you've got value from this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel.